can use attack and defend the base, or defend the base and end the attack. And had he been able to keep a wall off somehow, or just have to warp in one zealot occasionally to keep that wall tight, then his attack would have had so many more minerals because the probes would still be mining. He would have had so many more weapons to use there, and things just spiraled out of control for him.
Paralyze is going to go with the map Yonsu.
I think we're probably going to see another timing attack if he wants to use this map. It's rush distance is pretty short. It's a two-player map. It's a very basic map, I feel like.
Well, the rocks in this map, the fact that there's plenty of destructible rocks allows you to control different areas of the map and control the circulation of the Zerg.
Yeah, it's a really fun map, I feel. It's my favorite one in the pool still, even though it's a really old map. I really, really like it. I expect we'll see probably another timing attack here from Paralyze. The last one he did was, his execution was solid. It was just that Furious Defense was too strong.
If he had maybe some better force fields there at the ramp, he did allow one too many roaches to get in. I think his warp-in was a little bit too close to the ramp itself, so the roaches could actually shoot up that, which is another problem. But anyways, let's see if Paralyze does better now, excuse me, on the map of his choice against Curious.
Paralyze versus Curious.
Sup, Wolf?
What's up, Tasteless?
Not much, man. This is our second time casting together in
this month.
This month.
Yeah.
We don't get to cast together very often. So
we don't.
This is fun.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, me too.
It's a good way to spend my Friday night.
That's how only way I want to spend my Friday night, is with the Wolf.
Well, that's what we're going to do.
That's what we're doing right here.
Glad you guys could spend it with us through the internet.
Whatever time it is for you guys.
Yeah. Well, this series is already going a little bit differently than I expected. Curious playing very well.
Well, Curious just looked very solid in that game. I think that Paralyze's strats actually should have won, but Curious had better execution. Even if you notice, there was a period where the Warp Prism seemed to be headed towards the Zerg base and it had no sentries in it.
Yeah.
And then he sent it back.
Yeah, that was a bit of a mistake too. Just these little holes in his play. I want to point out that Curious has played very safe in the first game with his scouting, and then in the second game, he sent 2 drones to check just to make sure he didn't have any proxies in his main base, something you very rarely see. He's just playing extremely safe. He said in his interview that he's been practicing non-stop. He's just trying to, he's like, there's not enough time in the day, basically, to practice as much as I want to practice for this group. He really wants to prove himself today, and he's looking solid already from game 1. It's like maybe the reason why he wasn't so confident earlier is because he's just like, I'm not thinking about this that way. I'm thinking about this about my practice and the builds I've thought of, not like...
Well, Curious also expressed frustration on the change in the format of the groups as well.
Yeah.
Not being able to pick and kind of being at the whims of the randomness of the draw there.
Yeah, it's true. So let's see how Paralyze wants to play this now. The map is, again, really good for immortal timings. We've seen them so often here, especially in Pro League. And it's very difficult to defend your third base if you're a Zerg. And then when the Paralyze gets into that little choke point next to the natural, you don't have to use a lot of force fields to actually wall off the roaches and start cutting them up.
Well, he's going to get that walling up. And we'll see when that core's done what he's going to want to do.
Actually,
you think he's going to go for a timing attack, you said, right?
Yeah. You know what's interesting is basically what build we've seen from Paralyze so far is he's cut the Forge out entirely. He did a Nexus first into Gateway, and Curious is like seeing blood in the water here. He's identified this with his Overlord scouts, and he's actually making quite a few links, and he's getting link speed. Just going to try to punish him for this, because there's no wall, there's no cannons up. He's starting that wall now.
Yeah, the Mothership core is not close enough to being done just yet. Now, the Lings are coming down here already.
He's got a wall here with that Zealot, and with the Mothership core here, this is not really going to work.
Well, he is actually getting that gateway, so I think that will work.
Wow, yeah, he's going to...
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Sick, okay.
Whoa.
Yeah, the Mothership core was not going to be out in time. So, he does at least get that Zealot, which does interrupt the wall in now, because you don't want to have your base completely walled in, but he might be forced to do that for the time being.
That was pretty cool.
Is he going to cancel that pylon? Nope. Just let this finish, tear that open later.
So he actually lost that gateway too. No cancel. It was still building, right? Or was that the first gateway? I'm like,
no. That was well, obviously there's a second gateway there.
Yeah.
Because the cybernetics core and everything.
Yeah.
But no, I mean I believe that was not canceled.
Yeah, it's on the units. Last time there was a gateway there, so
yeah.
that's
so he actually did lose it.
That's a lot of minerals lost there. It's going to interrupt his build quite a bit. This probe over here spots the third base. He's kind of lose it though.
You know, we've seen some very refined Ling timings here. Guys that can look at exactly what you have right there and say, no, you know what, I can actually take out your buildings there. I can cause some problems here. Now that Protoss is walled in, he can take out those rocks, but it's a bit inconvenient. He can't, for instance, push out with, you know, a Stalker, a Sentry, or Zealot and try to just drive back a Ling that might be outside of his base.
Yeah. Exactly. See,
now he's going to have to destroy that pylon like I was talking about.
Yeah, exactly. He's so annoyed by this that he's just going to go ahead and tear that down. He hasn't added any tech structures, you know, unless you want to argue that the Forge is one. It's an upgrade building unit or structure. He's starting his upgrades there, but he doesn't have robotics, doesn't have a Stargate, something that the Overlord is trying to identify right now. And he does see the Forge, actually. He also sees that it's not in use currently.
Yeah, no upgrades there. The Roach Warren, by the way, a little bit over halfway done. And this is what I was talking about. He wants to push out with these sentries here, get this probe over here to get the Nexus up, and of course get the pylon wall up with the gateways so that he can have a cannon tucked away in there that can't be touched, and he can easily secure a third base.
There's nothing about this that Curious doesn't know. He's seen everything from the Forge, even from the Forge starting now, the upgrade. He's seen the third base. That was a bit sloppy. I feel he could have saved that, but you know, he's got all the information. And now he gets to choose how he wants to respond to this because, you know, one way is to attack, you know, try to hit a timing to punish the Protoss for this, or one is to, you know, continue to tech up and play risky because the Protoss is not going to be attacking him anytime soon.
And he'll tear down the rocks here to get healthy circulation between the second and the third base.
Yep. Just constant Phoenix Scouts here for Paralyze. Always wants to know exactly what sort of tech his opponent's going for, how many upgrades he's getting. And also if there's a fourth base, which it looks like Curious killing the rocks to take the fourth base to the top left, which is really far away.
Ling's coming down here just to buy some time. Yeah, those rocks are killed off.
Really nicely done. You know, he doesn't even lose any of the Lings. He's just able to do as much damage as possible and get them away.
And now he's actually going to press out here. Blink has started. He is sending a probe with this.
I think he's just trying to make Curious make units instead of drones right now.
Well, he's pretty far out. The Mothership Core is coming, so as long as he gets that over that, he can bring his army back.
Yeah, he sees there's no fourth base here. And
okay, so he's just going to peek in here with a hallucinated Phoenix, and then he can actually just recall if he wants to back to his third base to defend and make sure probes can mine there with ease.
Yeah, he even just walks home, doesn't have to recall. Looks like he can catch these early, so that's a small little catch that you guys don't see, but I see on the mini-map. Killed all of those. That was a fairly good trade for him there.
Blink halfway down, same with the Robo here. And the Zerg's now starting the Spire here while producing some Roaches and Lings, +1 ranged attack. The Roaches and Lings are going to come down now, and he did get his army back home safely.
Yeah. Just a pylon over here that he will lose.
With the Zerg now having a very good number of drones here, he's going to get pretty high, pretty close to getting maxed out much quicker than the Protoss will. And the fourth base, by the way, be taken at the upper left. Sometimes we see Zerg take them closer to the center right, but in this case, no.
Yeah, he just wants to keep it as far away from the Protoss as possible, keep it safe. He's just going to poke here. He sees that the Cybernetics Core is just on the edge, and he wants to try to punish for that. I think he should be able to get that.
Yeah, he'll be able to get that for sure, and then he can come up here and just hit these gates. Nicely done there. No more Sentries or Stalkers for the time being.
Yep, and looks like he's going to get a gateway as well.
Now, this is a really good example of a solid Zerg, is he's not just macroing, he's not just taking the map, and he's not just scouting. He's got some good harass. He's getting in there, he's taking out buildings and getting back out, which is slowing the Protoss down just slightly enough. I mean, look, there he's triggering a Nexus Cannon, runs back out. If he could have gotten the gateway, he would have, but he surveyed the situation correctly. Zerg does have a lot of money banked up here, and it's all going to be in mutas. 13 mutas now coming out here.
Surprise tech switch here. He knows his opponent has no Stargate. He's very difficult to produce Phoenixes. You know, he has Blink, but his Stalker count is not incredible here. Nice catch on these Roaches.
Yeah.
But these mutalisks are going to be a very big problem. There's no defense whatsoever set up for these. Now starts to realize, starts double Stargates, but they're a long way off.
Yeah, that might be too late. Most of the mutas have already hatched now. And, you know, one problem is the way that Protoss walls themselves off of their buildings can make it harder for their defense to come in there and actually protect them when mutas are starting to harass like this. Smart move here to go for the hatchery, but the mutas will shut this down.
He's basically just trying to keep the mutas off his back for just a few more seconds, you know, anything he can do.
Yeah, you can see there's 3 cannons making it. Look at this, he's going to come here with a small army.
It's really good multitasking by Curious today. He's just always got a group of units somewhere, putting on the pressure. All right, these Stalkers are going to try to intercept these mutalisks, and actually he's going to succeed.
Up. Now we're going to get the muta ball. This is where you just keep making mutas into this muta death ball here. And it's very difficult to stop.
That Swarm Host is just like the unit that doesn't belong in this picture.
That's the black sheep of this map.
I don't know what he's going to do, but he's just going to sit at home, I guess. So this is going to be very difficult to defend because the mutalisks are going towards the main base, and then the roaches are going to actually attack the third. But he could do that. Just be very careful. This mutalisk does almost lose one. Here come those roaches I was talking about. The Lings actually get through. Bit of a mistake here. He's going to lose some sentries. Wow, a lot of sentries, maybe even all of them.
Yeah, actually, and now the roaches coming in here now. He might target down the Nexus. Meanwhile, the Phoenixes are going to drive out the mutas, but the mutas whip around now.
Oh, the Phoenixes are not being microed.
Yeah, he can't. He's not multitasking as well as Curious is. Curious is everywhere at once now, taking out that Nexus.
Oh my God, this is such great play. And now that he's killed the Phoenixes, he knows he just needs to make more mutas. 7 more mutas on the way.
Yep.
And
Fleet Beacon here.
Yeah, he wants to get the range upgrade. He wants to get the +1.
He needs stronger Phoenixes for sure. Sometimes we see Protoss' counterattack here. In this case, I don't think it would be good. Not just because there's spine crawlers making, but just because if you look at the sheer number of Zerg units out on the map right now and the strength of the mutas, if Protoss leaves, Zerg can go in there and wipe out the main and then come back and try to defend.
Curious knows exactly how to play this one. He's making a ton of spines right now because he knows the only way he can lose this game maybe is just like in a base trade where they're trying to race each other for elimination.
Wow, Curious is just dominating in this game.
Yeah, I mean, what is Paralyze supposed to do now? The Lings and mutas are in his main base. He's going to lose that Nexus for sure.
I guess he does get the Zerg's 4th, but I mean, so what? This terrifying number of mutas now coming in here, tearing apart the main. The Stalker's trying to get here to defend. He actually has the Lings attacking the starport there too. 4th base does go down for the Zerg, but fairly inconsequential when you can compare the difficulties right now that the Protoss is facing.
Yeah, he's got so many Stalkers here, but it's just the Mutalisk can fly away here. He's already done the damage he needs to do.
Nice snipe there on that one Phoenix there as well. So now the Protoss is down to 1 Nexus. I don't know what options Paralyze really
He doesn't have his Stargates
here
anymore, so he can't make any more Phoenixes. So basically, Curious essentially has this game won because there's not enough gas to even really replace the Stargates. He's still trying, you know. He's spending all of his resources on Stalkers. He needs to replace his Nexi, but that costs so much money that he doesn't have. This attack here may be just the end. I mean, he's going to try to make this work, but there's so many mutas he can just fight the Stalkers straight up.
The combination of the Lings with the mutas here. And you got to keep in mind that back at home, the Protoss is based in shambles. More mutas now than Stalkers. GG. Nicely done. Curious.
Probably getting a little bit more confidence after that one.
He looked great.
Yeah, that was really...
That was some of the best Curious play I've seen.
That was really, really good. Very well practiced. His training has definitely paid off.
Wow, look at Paralyze, man. Not happy with that.
No, definitely not. But I gotta say, like, Curious should be very pleased with his result here.
Yeah, for sure.
And he will have to play another ZVP, but I mean, if he plays as well as he did there, I think he might be able to just...
Yeah, he might just get out of this group, make us look silly.
If he gets first place in this group, that would be like, I think the biggest upset we've had since Byung advanced.
I think a lot of people didn't expect him to play as well as he did there.
Yeah.
If you had like whited out his name and shown that to most people and said, "Who is this?" I don't think most people would be guessing Curious. We're going to see how he does against Stats here in this next best of 3 after this short break.